What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. Bye, singing dog. Bye, goal.
I pronounce you.
Bye, wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm running late, of course. What a surprise. And I'm actually calling in to my own show late, actually. And I'm really excited to have Marcell on the show, so I'm going to start in about 35 seconds. I don't want to forget to remind everybody that Jill Maria Robinson, who was originally scheduled for yesterday's show, is going to be coming on tomorrow. I don't have an actual time as of yet, but I will let you know. My guess is it'll be 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. And then Thursday, we are going to have Sun Spotlight, and we are going to be spotlighting the documentary on dogs and bikers. So please be sure to tune in. So without further ado, I'm going to get Marcell on the line so we can start our interview. Marcell?
Hey.
Hello? Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm very nervous. Thank you very much. I'm very intimidated by you.
Not as nervous as I am.
I'm extremely intimidated. Oh, my God. There's nothing to be nervous about. I'm probably the most laid-back interview you're ever going to have in your life. And I was actually on the phone talking to another musician, which is why I'm late. And we were talking about you, so I hope that counts. I was only like 60 seconds late, but we were talking about you. So, hi. Thank you for coming on the show, first of all.
Cindy, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem at all, actually. I think, and I've said this about 8,000 times, in all fairness to all you guys that live here in Milwaukee, of course, local musicians are my first and favorite picks all the time, and I think it's frustrating that I watch the limited amount of venues that you have media-wise that's able to, broadcast and talk about you and interview you. So hopefully, with any luck at all, this will get you tons and tons more fans, and people will be flooding to your shows before you know it, like they're not already, right?
Well,
right? Because I
idea,
see your pictures. Yes. They flock to you like just, oh, my God, like white on rice. So before we get to the actual really serious stuff, I wanted to ask a very, very remotely serious question because I'm looking through your pictures, I'm looking through your page, I'm doing all this research on you, and I'm like, does this guy know? I mean, is this intentional or is this on accident that you just have this physical presence that resembles Stevie Wonder? Because that's like the first thing I think of. I'm like, dude looks just like Stevie Wonder. And I know you hear this all the time, right? But seriously, go look in the mirror. You look like Stevie Wonder. You kill me.
Well, Stevie Wonder is a huge musical influence on the way I play. So I guess without knowing it, I guess I kind of took on the Stevie Wonder look.
Really? So you actually don't do this, go and look in the mirror and you're like, oh, let's get a little thing going here. Let's do this or this. Because obviously you get the sunglass thing, but it's the look. I mean, it's the hair, it's the look, it's the presence. So I thought I'd bring it to your attention. I thought you knew.
Well, that wasn't the intention at first. But then people said, hey, you should do the Stevie Wonder thing. So then a couple of years ago, we put this band together called As I Wish, and it's a Stevie Wonder tribute band. Mm-hmm. And it took off pretty good. It actually worked. It worked out very well. And, me being able to play and sing, I just kind of fell into the character. So there you have it.
Look at that. My goodness gracious. Well, my gosh. Okay, well, I just want to get that cleared out of the way because I was just like, does the dude even look at himself? Because I know people compare me to people, and I'm like, no, I don't see it. But then they're like, no, you're natural. So I just assume that, we're all on the same page with this. We'll just start calling you Stevie Jr. if you don't mind. Just kidding. It's your interview, not his.
Wait, I wish I had his money, so.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. Right? You mean you're not rich? You mean Milwaukee musicians don't make 6 figures? Really?
Absolutely. Well, absolutely not. Some do.
Well, that's okay. You're working on it little by little here. That's all right. Now, all right, let's begin. I know that you're a graduate of Shorewood High School, but I wasn't quite sure. Have you done any post-secondary education, meaning either relative to the vocal side of things or else actual playing of instruments, et cetera?
Well, I studied at the Conservatory of Music back in the 80s with a guy named Tony King.
Okay.
So that's where I got some of my jazz piano playing from, and and I also studied with a guy named Dan Dances locally around town. And those two guys helped me develop my skills as far as playing left hand bass and accompanying myself with chords.
Okay.
So,
did you walk into it having had played, like some people tootle around when they're little and say, oh, I've poked around with it a little bit here, a little bit there, or was this just a fresh experience? Like, oh, I've just decided I want to play piano, so let's go at it.
Well, that wasn't the intention. I've always loved playing piano. I'm the only musician that's in my family.
Okay.
It started out with the Charlie Brown theme. It came on TV, and so I started plucking around on this little instrument that my grandma had. She had like an old piano, and I just kind of figured it out. I was like maybe like 6 years old, and they're like, "Oh my God, you can play piano." So at 6 years old, you're like, "Okay, yeah, I can play piano," you know. So it kind of it kind of took off from there.
Sure, I understand
completely.
Go ahead.
Well, I just kept figuring these songs out. It was totally by ear that I would pick these things up. Yeah.
Huh.
So,
interesting.
And that's how I started playing.
I gotcha. Out of all the individuals, let's say if you can go back and look at your history a little bit, who happened to hail as your favorite teacher and why?
I would have to say my favorite teacher would be a guy named Dan Dance. He's a local piano player that's here. Yeah,
okay.
He's the kind of guy that sat me down and said, "Hey man, the piano's been around for 500 years. You know,
sure.
You've only, don't try and figure the whole thing out because you won't master it because it's been a lot longer than you. So,
gotcha.
But the more you hear,
gotcha.
He said the more you hear, the more you're going to hear, and then the more you're going to find out that you don't know, and it's just a great journey. So just run with it." He's the guy that actually sat me down and told me that.
Neat.
So,
very neat.
So I have to say Dan.
Gotcha. It's not very atypical. In fact, it's probably more typical than not nowadays that I'm finding that most of our local guys are out and about doing three-way duty, which is what I call it, which is they have a daytime job. Of course, they perform as a musician. And there's a whole slew of them that actually do things like educating, obviously. Now, in the past, have you actually taught students or continue to teach students now, whether it be keyboards or piano or vocals?
I have not taught piano. I have not done that at all. I kind of played in local bands, and I'm a workaholic. Whatever I do, I dive in head first. So I figured just to keep playing music and keep hiring myself out, and before you know it, I'm working 4 nights a week, and here it is.
Gotcha. No, I understand exactly what you're talking about. I obviously am a writer. I'm not a musician, so I want to pick your brain for a second on this because I like to ask individual musicians because everyone's different. What portion of your time is devoted to play versus practice? Because some just go and wing it and say, I'm not practicing at all. Some, spend a day. Can you kind of get us into that world a little bit of yours and how you do that?
Well, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
Because, as far as cover tunes go, it's, you just kind of go out and I just kind of go out and wing it, I think of it like as patterns. This is a musical pattern. I can get 10 songs out of this pattern. I can get 10 songs out of this pattern. So I learned several patterns and put lyrics, the cover lyrics on top of these patterns, and that's kind of where it is. So as far as a practicing thing, I say I practice a couple times a week. As far as honing my skills, on those patterns and getting familiar with my voice and what works with me, like accompanying myself on piano.
Gotcha.
So I'd say a couple times a week, Go ahead.
Okay. Do you ever find yourself, because again, I hear this time and time again, but you might be a little different. Some people find the practicing to be daunting, meaning that if you're not doing original material, let's say you're doing the same thing again and again and again, repetitive, even though you have such a passion for it, it can be daunting to have to practice, meaning some people just are like, I've done this a million times, let's just go wing it all the time, and they just don't practice anymore. What do you think of that sort of ideology?
Well, I think if you have to work at it like that, then it becomes more of a chore than, something that's fun. You have to put the fun into it, and you have to look at it differently. Like when I approach the music, I approach it as, okay, I have a show coming up or I'm going to play for somebody. So how do they want to hear me? What can I do to make them happy? How can I play for them? Because it's not about me, it's about them. When I sit down and play the piano, I'm not a piano player. The piano is a tool to play the audience. That's how I see it. So I look at little fun things to get a reaction out of the audience. Not trying to, win them over, but just trying to, I want to play for you. You came to see me. I want to do this for you. how can I play for you? That's my attitude, when I play. Okay. So when I practice, I try and pull those little things out like, well, this would be fun to do at a show. So I try and make it fun, and very crowd interactive. It's all about people. It's not about me. So,
okay.
And when I practice for people. So, in other words, if I'm practicing for myself and I'm doing it for myself, it's all about me, then it's, it becomes kind of pointless. And that's where I think the boring part comes in, or that's just so repetitious,
Really?
If I answered your question.
Yeah. I do. We all like it. We're fans, so we like it to be all about you and you and you, because you have a very, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, because I've only seen you perform once or twice, and it's been very sparingly and sadly and unfortunate that I haven't had more time to see you. But I have seen you play, and I've seen an assertive sort of positivity, you know what I mean? You come up on stage, and you do have that commanding presence. I've said that before. I just said that about Reverend Raven the other day, because it's very true. You're an individual who kind of steps on the stage, and there's no sense of insecurity that comes from you. You know your stuff. You know what you need to do. You seem very organized, and you seem very, very, very people-friendly, meaning you kind of suck your crowd in because there's just no boundary there. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's almost as if you're part of us, if that makes sense to you.
Wow.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't bullshit on this show. Sorry. We don't do bullshit on here. Sorry. And yes, you can swear on here. We just don't encourage it, because I interview Sons of Anarchy people. They say fuck all the time. But, sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. But let's just try to keep it clean. Sorry about that. Sorry if there's any children listening. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, since it's my show. But I appreciate you telling me that. That's great. All right. Let's talk a little bit about, and yes, I'm a smart ass. Okay, so before I forget, because this is an important question. And you've not been on the show, so you don't know this, but I'm here to tell you that I like to embarrass people, because it's fun, because you don't do radio shows where people make an ass out of you. But I do in a good way. It's never in a bad way, so I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. I have to believe, because you're a piano player and a vocalist, how many times have you been able to score points with the ladies because of what you do? Because I'm betting it's probably about an 85% thing. I'm going to go there right now. We're doing it. I'm going 85%. I'm thinking it's not about how the man looks. He opens his mouth, he plays, and then he sings, and then they're all like, oh, my God, he's a piano player. Or is that not the case?
Wow. In my case, I'm going to say that's not the case in my case. I think because I'm just so... because I'm so into people, and it's, I don't know, I mean, I just never really look at it from an angle, because, when I'm on stage, I'm thinking like, you like me, huh? You like me because I'm on stage, you like me because I'm doing this. That's the only reason why you like me. So I kind of have that kind of thing going on, so it's like, whatever,
really?
Absolutely.
Really?
That's me, though. That's me. I'm always, I'm just that dude, so, but.
Wow. Let me just tell you, truth be told, from you to I, you should be listening to me, because some certain musician got a date from me just that way. In fact, he was up on stage, and it was just so cute, and I was like, got to do it, and look what, I ended up with a great date. So there you go. So just keep it in mind for the future. That profession will get you a whole lot of places. Chicks dig the musician. I ain't going to lie, but you're probably,
But from my perspective, I look at it like, now the lights are off and the music's gone. Okay, all right, now how are you going to look at it? Now is this supposed to be still fun for you? Because I'm a pretty boring guy when it comes down to it. I watch old movies.
Oh my gosh. And,
I'm in the cars and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, we are. We're about to get into that. But since I hope I've made you blush once, let's go for a twofer right away. Because inquiring minds always want to know this. That's okay. Well, don't worry. It'll keep up. We're all inquiring, and we're all on the edge of our seats, so I just have to ask, because there are chicks out there that live in Milwaukee, and they might be single, so let's do it. Let's go right now and just say, is the musician single? Is he available, or is he not going to comment? He's going to cop the plea of, I can't talk about that on air.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am not available. I am not single. I do have a girlfriend. Been dating her for a little over a year, and so, she, and trust me, I'm a hard nut to crack, so,
Okay.
And it's,
I got you.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. Is it the blonde on your page? Is it the blonde?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I knew it. See, I knew it. Okay, good. Well, that's good that we covered that. So now that you've broken half of Milwaukee, now they're all crying because you're not single. Let's move on. Thanks a lot. Great. Now the chicks are going to stop listening to my show. Thanks a lot, Marcell. And it's been, 14 minutes we're on air? Great. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, I told you I'm a smart ass. Let's talk about instruments. Let's go there. I'm curious to ask you, your personal pick as far as the most burdensome, if I could talk today, versus the basic model to play during performing? Because some people always have that same thing where some are like, oh my God, I hate playing this, and some love that. So can you just take us in your world a little bit as far as piano/keyboarding? What do you find to be the best and the worst?
Well, are you talking like music?
No, I'm
song-wise,
talking
or
about
just
the
like?
I'm talking the actual instrument, because obviously I know that there's more than one piano that's out there. There's more than one keyboard out there, and that sort of good stuff. And there might be individuals listening that are musicians themselves. So I'm just curious to get your take on that. You've been playing for a long time, so I don't know if there is such a thing as a standard piano. You follow me?
Oh, I got you. Okay, yeah. I'm a Yamaha guy. I love the Yamaha pianos. You know, they got that nice little bite to them.
Okay.
I love that. You know, and
okay.
I'm not a Roland guy, but if I see a Roland piano, I will play it. Kurzweils are real thin to me. You know, I mean, they're good, but they're just thin. I'm a total Yamaha guy. You know, if it's got to be an electric keyboard, it's got to be a Yamaha. You know, I mean, I'll play anything, but really prefer that Yamaha.
Oh,
so
okay.
I
got
you. I mean, I know the sound. I know the instrument. You know, the P120s are really good. I got a CP300 that I bought like 5 years ago, and I still love it to this day. It's like it kills me to lift it, but you know, it weighs like 90 pounds.
I understand. Sure.
But I love it though.
I get it.
So to answer your question, Yamaha is my preferred instrument. Yamaha piano.
All right.
I love it.
Now, I'm going to proclaim and scream out the word novice right now, and I'm sure that a bunch of people that will listen to this interview might be novices in your world as well. So, you know, and it's not because I'm an idiot, but I look at a piano, and then I look at a stand-up keyboard, right? And I see the two of them, and I'm like, well, essentially they're the same, right? But then I wondered to myself today, is there an actual difference? I mean, when you're playing the piano versus the keyboard, is there any significant difference between the two instruments? We're curious. We want to know.
Absolutely.
Okay.
On an 88-key keyboard, which has 88 notes, 88 keys on it, a lot of them are made out of wood. They have a wood feel to them, so they feel like a real piano.
Okay.
Some keyboards are like 61 notes or 71 note keyboards. They have little weights inside of them, and they're kind of plastic, and they don't go down as far, so they come back, so the keys bounce up faster than normally like a wooden keyboard would. So.
Okay.
You know, a little keyboard is difficult for me to play because I'm such a heavy-handed player, and I have to pull back the way I play on like a 61 small keyboard, because if I'll break it. I break keys all the time, so yeah, there is a difference in the feel. There's a huge difference in the feel.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that, because I was like, I mean, obviously I see you play and that sort of good stuff, but I'm not versed in that, so helpful question. Just out of curiosity, and this is just because I'm selfish, I love, and I'm sure you're familiar with Jeff Stoll here in town.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, if you like this interview and you like me, then when you get off this interview, you'll call Jeff Stoll and say, you know what, Cindy Mich would really love if we would duet sometime, because I'm not kidding. I would really love it if you would duet. You have similar personalities and similar play styles. I don't know if you know that or not.
We got to make that happen on your show.
Yes, that would be even more awesome. Not to mention the fact, of course, if you could possibly play with Eddie Butts, that would be like the highlight of my year. I'm a huge Eddie Butts fan. I just am. Sorry.
He's awesome.
Yeah, well, you want to know fan preference, throwing it out there. You're supposed to listen to your fans. I am a fan. Hello, you're on my show, so yeah. So if you could do that, that'd be absolutely wonderful. And he could dress up as like a celebrity, and then you could do the Stevie Wonder thing, and it'd be like Celebrity Hour here in Milwaukee. See, I'm on to something.
And you host it. Let's make it happen. You promote it and host it.
Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm excited already. It's getting me all worked up. Cut it out. It's only 12:45 in the day. Too early for that.
Right.
Okay, now, I'd like to know how you as a musician, you yourself, how do you determine which song actually warrants which instrument? I know that might sound stupid, but it's not. Like, for instance, how do you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to play this on the piano, or no, we can't do it here, got to do the keyboard. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Depending on piano, the piano-based stuff obviously is going to be played on the piano, but some things they have like string accompaniments and horns. That's more like keyboard stuff for me because it has a different feel.
Okay.
Like the horn stuff are real brassy and real staccato, and I need those keys to come back real fast on the keyboard. So get those spitting brass horns. That's like keyboard stuff. Yeah.
Got it.
That's how, so that's how I make the difference. If I hear like a really cool string line, well, that's going to be a keyboard thing. or an orchestra thing. That's a keyboard thing. Real nice piano, and that's piano's coming like this. It's like that's piano all day long.
I see.
So
well, look at that. We're getting an education. Okay.
Do something on strings. That is a keyboard because it's real staccato. That's how I make the difference. That's for me.
Nice. Very, very good. Excellent. So it stands to reason because we're relatively similar in one regard. I have carpal tunnel. Do you? Because I look at you and I'm saying to myself, how long are these people going to play before their hands start giving out? And I don't mean to be a hater, but the reality is this is our gift. You know what I mean? So I'm curious about that. Do you ever have any sort of injury, or do you have ongoing care that you need to do as it relates to maintaining that in a good fashion?
I've been good. I've been good so far. I mean, I'm a Harley rider, so I do have to protect my hands when I ride. My dad always freaks out. You shouldn't be riding that bike. You play piano and you make your living doing this. I'm like, well, Dad, I'm going to ride, so if something happens, it just happens. But to answer your question, I mean, I'm pretty good that way. So.
Okay, got it. No issues with that goes. And he's just not gotten 50 extra brownie points on the show because he just said the word, I'm a Harley rider. That's an automatic bonus.
I am.
50 extra points you get for that. That is awesome.
Oh, wait, Road King, baby. Boom.
Do you also watch Sons of Anarchy, or are you not a Sons fan?
I am. I when will I have time? I work all the time. My girlfriend watches it all the time. She's like, oh, my God. I'm like, why are you crying? This is the last episode of 7 years. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't get it.
Here's a hint. It's called DVR. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. D and V and R. It's called Record It. No, it just ended, actually. And kudos to hear your girlfriend cried, because I cried like a damn baby. Oh, my God. You got to watch that show. Yeah. It's like, you got to watch that show. And let's face it, there's some chicks that are running around half naked. Some like they got the dude thing, and then they got the chick thing. So it's like, okay, I could go on forever on that one. But cool. You're right. Awesome. I want to talk to you about, yeah, I know we could laugh all day long at me, couldn't we? Dueling pianos. Now, I know that you have an event coming up where you're going to be doing the dueling piano thing. Now, I know you've done this in different venues, et cetera. So here's my question to you. Do you ever come across individuals, like when you're doing that dueling thing? Because I'm guessing that the whole concept of this is you got one versus the other, so one person plays a little different than the other one. Am I getting this right? Meaning the styles of the guy sitting across from you? Okay.
That's the initial concept.
So explain it to me. Okay, I got it.
Well, it kind of changes up. I mean, that's so-called the initial concept. But what happens is, whenever I partner with somebody like a Chris Crow, which is a dueling piano partner, or Steve Watts, Pierre Hernette, Josh Becker, these guys are great. We play together. We play, like I said, we do that thing for the audience. That's what we strive. And and the audience's perspective. Okay, well, these guys are going to duel. We're actually playing songs for you, and you think we're playing against each other, but we're actually playing for you. And we're actually having a lot of fun because we're doing this boogie-woogie thing, and we're both taking solos, and it just gives you more of a variety of, well, I like this guy better, or I like this guy better. And for the piano players, it's like, well, we don't care, how much you like either one of us. We're playing together and we're doing it for you.
Oh, very, very cool. That's absolutely awesome. You know what I noticed too, it maybe it's my imagination, but there isn't a whole lot of it. Obviously, Lucille's is out there and such, but it's kind of a dying art, so to speak, for lack of a better term. Is it just my imagination, or do they just don't do a whole lot of the dueling piano stuff anymore?
Well, a lot of music, it's hard to find dueling piano players, and the reason being is because you have to have it. It takes a special kind of guy to do the gig. I mean, some guys are better at it than others, depending on, what the venue is. But you have to be quick on your feet. You can't be judgmental on stage. You have to play anything from, country to hip hop to everything. I mean, you have to do it all, and you have to have your mind has to be that open to do it, and you have to have personality. Some guys can either play or they can sing. But to play and sing and to have personality and to keep the crowd into it and to, be stupid on stage and not lose the professionalism is a hard thing to do. So I imagine, definitely.
So here's my next question to you.
Not that I'm that good at it, but I'm just saying.
I'm just so in shock. Here comes the big question, because I'm listening to this interview and I'm thinking to myself, what? How can he do this? So explain to me how one, actually plays hip hop on a piano, because I'm already thinking, what? How is that possible? I don't get it.
I mean, everything's musical. I don't care what it is. I mean, I don't care what song it is. I don't care what kind of music it's everything's musical. So you have to take your interpretation of the music part and you have to make it sound on the piano. So whatever that may be, you know, you have to take that, you know, that you have to just, you know, and you have to make that musical, and you got to rap or sing or, you know, do whatever you have to do, but you have to, you know, you got to make it funky, you know.
Sure.
And you have to just run with that, you know.
Okay.
And you have to sing whatever song that they're going to sing, you know, wobble or whatever they want to sing on top of that, and
sure.
You know, whatever hip hop song you're going to sing or whatever. Even, you know, I mean, I'll put a hip hop song with a rap song, with a funk song, with a country song. I'll put them all together in one thing, you know.
Cool.
And make it fun.
So you
have to keep it musical.
Okay. So I'm going to put in I'm going to cast up my little request now, so that the next time I show up at your show, I'll just stand there and be like, remember me? Guess what you're playing on the spot right now? See, maybe I shouldn't tell you. Would it be better if I just didn't tell you and show up, or do I have to, like, tell you?
No, either way. I can roll with it.
I'm going to tell you right now. This is on air right now, people, so if you go to a show and then he doesn't play it, you're going to be like, really? Because you didn't do what she asked you to do. I'm curious if you can do this. One of my favorite songs of all time is Etta James. Is it possible to do it last on the piano? Do it well, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good. There you go. Now you got my request.
Oh, yeah, you can do that big time.
Oh, my God. Quit exciting me, because that's not fair. Don't give me a teaser and then don't give it to me. Oh, that didn't sound right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I got to say, and I'm not, you know, I got to say this. I mean, I've played this song and I've done it a million times, but the best rendition I've heard of Etta James was a guy named Joe Height that's around town.
Oh, I know.
Every time I hear Joe Height sing that song, so if he does the song, I won't do it in front of Joe Height.
Oh, look,
he's the
it's like a
absolute
guy.
best at that.
I'll do it for you, but there'll be conditions on it. Wow.
All right.
You just lost half a point. Moving along, Marcell. Okay. I truthfully, and I mean this, I feel that it is the performer themselves who can most accurately ascertain their own skill levels. So I want to go through the list here. By that I mean this. So if Marcell was to ask himself what he's most proficient at in terms of, okay, there's the piano, then there's the keyboard, then you're doing vocals. Rate yourself. Tell me where you stand yourself on that.
Wow. Okay.
Right? I know, we do tough questions here. Ha ha.
That's a very tough, because I'm just critical. You know, I can never do anything right, you know. So.
Yes, that's why I asked.
Wow.
Here.
All right. So go ahead. Was that the question? Piano?
In terms of the question, you've got the piano, you've got the keyboards, you also have your vocals, and then, of course, you know, I'm assuming those are the only things you do play, or do you play anything else as well?
We'll just stick to those. I mean, I play drums and I play bass, but I don't play them out. I play those on my original music.
I gotcha. Okay. So go ahead and rate them.
As far as
what
the
do you
piano
best
goes,
at
I mean,
down the line?
I'm very at home on the piano. I mean, I've been playing for a long time, so I mean, I would have to say, I mean, you know, I'm just with myself, and when I rate myself, and I got to set this up because I'm not comparing myself to like anybody else. I'm just saying I feel very at home on the piano. I'm very comfortable, so I would rate myself, you know, from a scale from 1 to 10, an 8 on piano.
He only gives himself an 8. Are you drinking right now? Are you drinking? Are you medicated? Okay, moving along. Go on to the keyboard, buddy. I don't like that answer. We'll just move it along.
You know, and the keyboard, I'd have to say, you know, because I'm only going to play the keyboard on things that will require that. I got to say that too. You know, 8, 9 on keyboards as well. You know.
Okay.
So yes, absolutely.
Okay. Not a 10 though, huh? We're not going to get a 10 out of you, are we? Doesn't matter what.
I'm very critical of myself, so you know, I just, you know, no, I won't go 10.
If I don't get you a 10 by the show is over, we're going to have problems. Yeah, well, you know, you'll be a 10 by the time we get done with you. And then as it relates to vocals?
And the vocal, you know, well, that's kind of tough too because, you know, you can really I really don't consider myself a vocalist, but when people say, what are you doing? You're playing, you're singing. So, okay, yes, I am a vocalist. I get so tired of hearing my own voice because you hear it all the time, and I've been hearing it since I was born. So, you know, I say vocally, I go like a 7, 8.
Okay. All
you
right.
know, but with those things, you know, the piano and the vocal, you know, they always get me through the night, and I make my living at it. So as far as the living thing goes, I got to rate it as a 10 because that's all I do, and it's never let me down. So I would say a 10.
You did say a 10? Look at that.
For
I was
both.
just going to say, dude.
Piano and vocal together.
Right. This is your job. So you do this as a full-time musician, but you don't think you're a 10? Ding, ding, ding. You're a 10, dear, because lots of other people aren't doing this full-time. So let's just clear that up. Okay, since we're on the vocals, we're going to stay on that, actually, because I've taken a perusal of your set list. And, of course, just in case people don't know, you do just a group of different genres, ranging from Billy Joel to the Eagles, Marvin Gaye, Casey and the Sunshine Band, my personal favorites on that list, which is Sinatra. So, again, you get another 50 points on the jackpot list. So anybody that does Frank Sinatra, kudos in my book. One of the reasons I love E-Rock so much is because he does his Dean Martin. Anybody who does a crooner, huge in my book. Got to say that. Of course, obviously, in case people don't know, you obviously do originals as well. So my question to you is, of course, how long have you actually been composing and singing your originals?
I've been composing and singing my originals ever since I started playing. I've got so many songs. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've got an arsenal of songs, and I'm releasing my CD. I've got a CD coming out in May. It's going to be called Nightlife, featuring a tune called Get in the Groove. That I wrote a couple of years ago with myself and Charles Barber and a guy named Chris Pipkins that played sax on it. My writing is different than playing live and what I do for a living. You know, it's where I just express, you know, what I want to do, and I get that down. Because it's like, for me, it's lightning in a bottle. You know, it's like, hey, I did this tune for this. I did it at this year, and I can tell every song that I wrote, every song that I hear that I wrote, I can tell you exactly when it was written. I can tell you exactly what year it was, and I can tell you exactly what I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are right for me. You know, those are right for me, and I put them out there, and I don't know what you want to call it. I let people call it whatever they want to call it. So.
I gotcha. Does that mean that Marcell composes for his? Do you compose for the ladies in your life as well?
I haven't done that yet. You know, I guess that's.
Ouch.
Not yet.
Took a check mark.
I know.
There. Another check mark for Marcell. Who doesn't write to the girlfriend when they've been with her for a year? Come on, step it up. Really? Sorry.
Not
do it.
yet.
Gotta keep it real.
I'm keeping it
real. I just gave you a little Christmas bonus. Well, I'm giving you a little Christmas bonus. You want some points with the girlfriend? Go write her a song. You get, 10 days? There you go. Just thought. Throwing it out there.
Yeah, I might do that.
Question. Yeah, might. Notice we got a might. Yeah, just like we got an 8. I'm really sucking on this one, man. I gotta step up my grade here. I wanted to know your format for appearances. Has it been modified through the years? Now, you know, you get some musicians that go out there and like, okay, it's going to be the same standard thing, and you kind of keep to that. Have you kind of just mixed it up over the years, or is it kind of the mainstay for you?
Well, I don't know what it's going to be. You know, when I walk in, it depends on the crowd, depends on the audience, depends on what's going on. There could be birthdays, there could be celebrations going on. You know, I just kind of jump right in the party, and we kind of, you know, introduce myself. Okay. And I'm in entertainment tonight. We're going to have some fun. What are we doing? Not me. What am I doing? It's like, what are we doing? How are we going to make this fun? And then they kind of tell me the kind of stuff they like. It could be a half a night of country. It could be a half a night of everything, or it could just be a request night where they request songs. So every night's different. So there's no set format when I walk into a gig.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. And, of course, does that include the set list? Like all the
unless I'm doing a private party. Unless if it's like I did Johnson Control's Christmas party. That was like a set format. It started out being a set format, and then it just totally changed. So I thought it was going to be one thing, and it was something totally different.
Ah, okay. I gotcha. Now, does that mean that the song list, like if somebody comes in an impromptu and literally just says, hey, can you play us on the spot, how willing are you to do something like that, or do you think that's a little tougher for you? Meaning that
that's, you know, it's two things. Either I can or I can't. So, you know, and I've been mostly the can. I've been able to do it. So there have been a few times where I got stumped, and I just, you know, I just can't do it. Or I write it down. Next time I see you, I'll learn it and I'll have it. But for the most part, that's what it is. You know, hey, it's fly by the seat of your pants. Make it happen.
Look at that. Fly by the seat of his pants. I like that. That's how my whole interview is. I didn't make up any of these questions. I just woke up and said, I'll just think of stuff to ask him. No research, fly up the butt. How am I doing? Am I okay so far? Are we all right?
Oh, awesome. Cindy, you rock.
This doesn't suck.
No, not at all.
I keep hearing
awesome.
that. People keep saying I send a Christmas card, I make them cry. Go on the radio, they're like, you're awesome. I'm like, now if only I had the confidence in me that you do, things will be great. Because I've never done this a day in my life. You're my first interview. Just kidding. Speaking of the personal side, I love talking. Well, thank you. I love doing personal stuff about people. I do. I have to tell you that you're probably one of only 2 musicians, and you're one of them out of the other one I know, that, and this is an observation, and this is pertaining to Facebook, I see very little personal about you, very little personal everywhere in general. That leads me to believe 2 different things. Do I think you're introverted? Hell no. But it would seem like that by looking at your Facebook page because it's all about, your gigs, et cetera, et cetera. So here's my question to you. Do you live with the belief, because some musicians are like this, meaning keep the public persona one way and then keep the real me a mystery? Is that you, or is it just you just don't post a lot? Because some people don't do that.
Well, it's not. I'm very open with my life, because like I said, I'm very boring. I don't do much. That's the whole thing. I work everything. My whole life's all about work. So I guess to answer your question, I don't post like what I do in my house, that kind of thing, or except when I have parties. But people just, people don't really want to hear that. They want to know where you're playing. They want to know what you're doing musically. They want to know when, when can we bring the party to your place? We're coming out to see you play. They don't want to know that I'm sitting on the couch watching, some movie. People just don't want to know that. I guess it's kind of boring. I do post my cars though. I'm rebuilding a car, so every now and then you'll see, the car thing, and that's pretty much about it. But nobody, I feel, I'm sitting with my neighbor drinking wine right now on the front porch, and we're watching the cars go by. I don't think they want to know none of that, But they do want to know, hey, I'm playing at Butler in Milwaukee this Saturday. I got a private party coming out. People are going to be in the house. We're going to make this fun. Come on out and have some fun. So that's what they want to hear.
Wow. Oh, okay. Well, hi, I'm a fan.
And I do
your
post,
Facebook friend.
I do post things that are personal.
You do?
Like my brother passed away. I posted that when my brother passed away.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I do get kind of personal, but but I don't.
Okay.
I just did I answer your question? I went on a rant about something else.
Well, you did, except for the fact that I'm a fan and I'm a Facebook friend, and I expect more. So now I'm putting in my request. You need to post more. So if you're drinking wine, I just want to know what kind you're drinking or something like that. Because I'm like, how am I supposed to know this dude, man? Yeah, hello, I know where you play, but I'm like, don't know much about the dude except I can see what your hair looks like and what you're wearing today. And now I know what your girlfriend looks like only because I cornered you on regular national television. Radio. Television. Now we're on television. Great. Maybe I should have a drink. But you get me? So yeah, that's just my little thing. This people though, I'm going to tell you I know about the guy. This I can say that I know about you. So I'm going to list a few things off. So you and I share a kinship in that we like some of the same types of bands around town. Obviously, Junior Gomez, Mojo Perry, Tweed Funk, just to name a few. Can you believe I just saw Tweed Funk for the first time this weekend? I'm shamed that I said that, but it's true. I just saw them for the first time. Absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I can also say that apparently you look like you're as much of a whack job as me because I know the only movie on your page is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I'm totally cuckoo, like every day, all the time. So I'm like, dude's got to be cool. He likes that movie, which is awesome. I saw the beautiful pictures of you and your little honey the other day in the hot tub. A little more than I needed, but okay, fine. Yeah, I can live with that.
Well, she posted that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I apologize to Marcell on that. Your girlfriend had to do the little TMI thing, put in the hot tub. Okay, whatever. But I didn't get to see some of the little cool stuff. So I just want to ask real quickly, just give us a cute little bio, meaning do you have brothers, sisters, that sort of good stuff? Where do you hail from originally? Just to give us a little background about who you really are outside of the music thing.
Well, I was born and raised here in Milwaukee, went to Shorewood School District. That's where I went to school, basically. Went to UW for a while, studied education to become a school teacher, dropped out to go on the road to be a musician, did that, decided to go back and get my degree in 2001, and went back and tried to finish my degree, never finished it, started playing music again. I got a brother, and I have a sister. My brother passed away about 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I have an older sister, and she's still living. And my mom passed away in 2010.
Okay.
And my dad's still going. My dad's 81 years old, still driving, getting around by himself. So, I mean, and that's it. You know, I have a son. I got a 16-year-old son.
You're a dad?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a
You're
dad,
that old?
16.
You have a kid? That old? Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really? Because I'm thinking 40, right? Right? 40? You're like 40,
yeah,
right?
We'll leave it at that, sure.
We are leaving it there, right? Let's just leave it at 40, shall we?
We're going to leave that right there where it's at.
Okay, that's a good thing. Now, I could push along with the girlfriend thing, but I think I'm going to get lynched if I push anymore. But it's been, a year now? Christmas is coming, you know.
I know.
Yeah, so maybe if you don't want to do the song, you might want to do the, that other thing that we do at Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
That thing.
Well.
That you can, play your own wedding. Throwing it out there.
Well,
yeah. Your girlfriend's going to love me by the time this is over. She's going to be like, she rocks. Hey, you got to help her out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well. We haven't quite got that far yet. We have not got that far yet.
Right.
No,
okay. That's fine.
She still has to get to know me, so,
I gotcha. I understand.
I'm a hard dude to live with. I'm up all night. I make music all night. I ride loud motorcycles. I'm loud. I don't have a set schedule.
Oh, my God.
I do what I want, so that kind of thing.
Wow. Maybe I should call her and send her condolences. I'm so sorry.
I know, right?
Marcell,
probably
a little complicated here. All right,
That'd be a
since
good
we're on
idea.
that subject, we're going to switch it for 30 seconds, and you're going to give me some really quick advice, so we'll move on to the next thing. Met a musician over the weekend, just trying to figure out a good way, because I've been down the musician road, and it ended horribly. So I'm trying to keep faith on this, and I like the guy. So if you want to impress a musician, what do you do? Give me some quick advice.
Well, I don't think...
Because I want to do something to impress him.
Okay.
And you know him. I'm not going to tell you who he is, but I know you know him.
Oh.
So, I just want to do something to catch his eye. I mean, I have caught his eye, but I want to keep his attention. Uh-oh. This is a hard question, isn't it? Uh-oh. Did we lose Marcell somehow? Because it's gotten very quiet here. Hold on just 1 second and let me see if I can try to Oh, yep, looks like we lost. 1 second. Hello? 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 Okay, kids, that's a little strange. All of a sudden I start asking Marcell about my love life. He disappears. Hold on for just 1 second. Hello? Hi, Marcell.
Cindy. Yes.
Hi. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I was talking to you and you disappeared.
Did you hang up on me? No, I'm kidding.
No, as a matter of fact, I've been sitting here and I've been talking and I'm like, I was just saying to the audience, isn't it ironic? I start asking him a question about my potential love life with a musician and then note, drop, click, gone. I'm like, thanks. All of a sudden.
Maybe you didn't want to hear my answer.
Yeah, right. Okay, so give me a little, I mean, I know you know him. I'm not going to say who it is publicly, but I just want a little,
fine.
Give me something to keep his attention. Because you're a musician.
Well, I can tell you.
I know.
I mean, well, from a guy's point of view, I can just tell you this. I mean, don't look at him as being a musician, first of all. That's just how I see it. Because, I mean, musicians have a bad, rap.
Yes, they do.
So, and I just don't think that that's fair. Not because I'm a musician, but I just don't think it's fair because they have a bad rap. So you already come in with this, with this thing like, okay, well, you're a musician, so everything's going to be this way. It's not going to be that way. I mean, you got to take that person for for who they are, and you have to, you just have to give them room and let them breathe. As far as because musicians are artists, and artists want to express themselves.
Sure,
and
of course, I do.
You have to let them. You have to let them, you have to let them do that.
I can do that. Like I said, I'm still skeptical. I've been down this road and it hasn't turned out well in the past. So I'm just like, but he's just too good looking to pass up. And he's very nice and very, very, very talented. So I'm
you gotta lose it. I mean, don't say that. I mean, don't say it's not gonna work. Don't say that I've been there. Don't say that. Okay, don't look for it, because if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. And that's just what it is.
You're right.
You're gonna create it in your mind. You're gonna find it. So I mean,
that's true.
That's just my opinion. Lose that. Just go into it 100% and say, hey, okay, this is what's gonna happen. And if you do that, I think it'll be just fine.
Okay.
Because sometimes we become victims of our own thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll find out in 24 hours. The next 24 hours will tell. I believe that's the next date, so we'll just see how that goes. And if it doesn't work out, guess who's calling you back up? Hey, Marcell,
come on now.
No, just kidding. It's not your fault. We'll see. High hopes. I got high hopes today. Speaking of which, speaking of high hopes, let's talk about this for a minute because I was creeping on your page and I was doing research about you, and I came across a detail that was so neat, and I thought to myself, how did this arise? Well, then a fellow musician called me up and he said, you know what, when you talk to Marcell on the line, ask him this question. And guess who it was who called me? Bobby Way. Bobby Way called. And so we both had the same question. Let's talk Hong Kong, Vietnam a little bit. How do you end up going to a place like that?
Well, first,
like that? Yeah.
First, I went to Hong Kong back. First time I went was back in '92. I was there from '92 to '94, and that was my first time when I went. And the second time I went was I got a phone call from Bobby Way. Said, "Hey man, I'm going to Hong Kong. You want to go?" I was like, "Well, I'll think about it." You know, he's like, "Well," he said, "We're going to pay you this." I was like, "Well, okay, I'll go."
Just like
you know,
that.
and it was pretty much just like that. You know. And Bobby Way is he's a really, really good friend of mine. I love him to death, you know. And for him to call me and give me the opportunity to go, I really appreciate that, you know. And he will always, always have a place in my heart. You know, not just for that. He's just a great guy. He's a boater. I'm a boater. And, you know, we just have so many things in common. You know, he plays music for a living. So do I. We like the same foods. We like the same sound. We like the same everything. We're just the same people. We didn't realize it.
Aw, that's sweet. Too bad he's not a female.
Yeah.
That would have worked out perfectly, but that's okay. No, I'm excited. He's coming on the show, so I am totally psyched. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to do Bobby Way. So we got to get him on the calendar. But it's just ironic that he happened to call before your interview. So I was just like, okay, because I do like to creep up on other people, and I call other musicians or I talk to other people and ask their input. I do, not because it's a bad thing, but because there are things about you that I'll never know, and people that tour with you or people that do things with you will know things that I won't. So kudos. Thank you, Bobby Way, for that one. So I appreciate that. We have two other things to cover here, and oh my God, can you believe we are done then after that? Wow.
Really?
It went so fast.
Wow.
This way, I know. It went like almost an hour, except for the fact that you hung up on me and then you didn't get brownie points for certain things, but okay, that's all right. Thanks a lot.
I'll make it up to you.
You better. It's called Etta James, and then it's called Put in a Good Word with the Cute Guy. Never mind. Okay, let's talk a minute about Rhythm Kings, because to people that don't know, you're both a founder and, of course, a member of this dance band. Groups of listeners that listen to my show are not just here, so obviously they're in other states, etc. So I thought it'd be neat if you could just give them some background, of course, on the group, meaning how you established it, your availability, meaning do you play only local or other places, and then have you done actually any releases with that band?
As far as releases, no, it was a cover band that we put together. It was strictly cover tunes. Put the band together back in '96. A guy named Charles Barber and myself put the band together. Got a guy named Lon Wall, which is one of my best, dearest friends. He's like a brother to me right now. He's a drummer. Sure. He was in a band called Gerard back in the day, and, you know, we didn't like each other, and all of a sudden he joined the band, and I was like, yeah, he's kind of cool. So we formed the band in '96, and, you know, one of my childhood friends, Lionel Jimerson on guitar, that he also joined the band in '96, and we played together. We've been playing together ever since. So, yeah, and we've been on the road together. We everywhere. We were mostly a West Coast band. We mostly played in Vegas, Reno, Lake Tahoe. I mean, that's what we were doing. Then my son came along in '98, and I said, hey, guys, I can't do this anymore. I got to go back and raise my kid. So the whole band kind of followed me back. They followed me back here, and we just kept the band going. Charles stayed out there. I got a new bass player called Phil Merritt, who lives in Milwaukee. He's been with the band since like '03 or '04. And we've just been playing together ever since, you know. And so I came back here to raise my son, and all these guys followed me back, and they said, you know, we'll follow you. I was like, really? And I was just like, I was thrilled. So the band's been together ever since, and we do mostly corporate parties now, mostly weddings and corporate parties is what we do. We're really known for being like, you know, like a wedding band. So, but now we're starting to do more clubs now. We're doing Berks, and, you know, we just got a few festivals this summer, so it's going to be great.
Right. That's why I guess I'd asked that, because I saw this little fluctuation, and I'm like, I thought they just did this or this. I just want to kind of clarify that as far as that goes. Now, on to the big thing, of course, one of the big things, which is, of course, as you mentioned, the upcoming CD release, which is going to be May 2015. Of course, Mother's Day weekend, it's going to be called Titles Nightlife, of course. A couple different questions for that. First of all, I wanted to find out, because obviously, you know, the last book I did took me 8 months, so I'm curious about your turnover in terms of for you to actually do start to finish the CD, how long it takes, what kind of goodies can we expect from this? And, of course, if we want to be part of this and actually show up in the fun, how do we do that?
It's going to be the CD's going to be mostly like it's kind of jazz dance orientated, just like the Get the Groove song that I sang. It's kind of on that level, and I'm going to release it. I did this Jazz on the Vine thing in Elkhart Lake for Mother's Day weekend. I'm actually headlining. I'm a headlining act, believe it or not. So I'm going to take that gig and make that my CD release party because everybody that's where they want to hear it. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm going to I'll be selling copies of the CD for that. And you can get tickets online, for the whole Jazz on the Line. You can either get a room for the whole weekend, and there are various acts, that they're going to be playing. And my act, there's nothing that costs to come inside the lounge where I am. I'll be having the CD on sale. I'm going to sell it for, $5 a copy, or it's going to be on CD Baby. You can buy individual songs for 99 cents on iTunes. You can do it that way. So basically that party is going to be Jazz on the Vine weekend, Elkhart Lake at the Osthoff Hotel, and I'll have CDs and links for sale for the CD.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now, I do not want to forget to mention this to individuals. A couple quick things here. First of all, I have to apologize to you. I've tried 50 ways sideways to download that music because I was going to play that on the air. When we get off the air, I'll have to get with you and try to find a way to actually load it because it's not loading onto my studio page, so I can't play it, but I will add on Get in the Groove, which is a song we were going to play. I'll put that on the actual interview after the fact. I want to remind people you have both personal page, which is, of course, your name, as well as an actual just Marcell page, obviously. You mentioned, of course, some of the ways people can find your music, but I also know you have your videos on YouTube as well, and I know you're also updating the website, which is, of course, not done yet, right? We're looking at Monday?
Correct. Yeah, it'll be done Monday. I'm only getting everything together, because I switched everything over to Mac, and I suck on Mac.
All right. And if everybody's now, for those of us that are out and about this coming weekend, I know that you're playing December 19th. Is that not correct?
That's December 19th and 20th, yes.
Oh, yes, that's right. And can you remind everybody again where you're going to be? Because I can't find it. Oh, that's
going to be.
I wrote it down.
Right.
I can't find
that's
it.
All right. It's going to be the Butler Inn in Pewaukee. Yeah,
okay.
Butler Inn in Pewaukee, December 19th and 20th. I'll be there.
Okay.
I do every Thursday at the main mill. That's in. It used to be the old AJ's Live. That's every Thursday. I'm there.
Right.
The old AJ's Live. I'm there. I love that place. Place is awesome. New Year's Eve, I'll be at. December 26th, I'll be at Sloppy Joe's in Hubertus.
Oh yes.
And that's right. New Year's Eve, I'll also be at the Bar 360 in Potawatomi. So
absolutely wonderful, and I love Potawatomi. It's one of my favorites. So now that we are down to the official last 7 minutes of the show, the only other thing that needs to be taken care of, because you haven't been on my show, you're about to find out. The last couple of minutes of my show are devoted to get you to be quiet, and you cannot say one word. This is the moment where Sin, that's me, I get to tell you what I think of you. So I hope you're sitting down. This is my overall impression of you that the audience needs to hear. So these are my impressions of you. And this, of course, like I said, I've seen him only briefly, obviously, and we've done this interview. So this is what I find from you. As I mentioned, you are an envelopment of the crowd. Basically, when somebody walks into a room to watch Marcell play, the first thing that I've noticed and I've always noticed about you is you blend right into your crowd. You really are a performer within the performance, so to speak. When I look at you, I think to myself, this man should be out in the middle of the piano, literally sitting next to tables, because you are the piano man in essence, for lack of the better term, with a cliche. I've always found you to be very pleasant, always very respectful. You always take a moment or two, if not five, to meet everybody who supports you and patronizes you. You are first and foremost spending a lot of your time and efforts, I should say, with partnering yourself with local musicians. I always have a great respect for that. You don't seem intimidated by other people's talents. You always have something to contribute when you walk in the room. You have something to contribute just standing there at an open jam, because I've seen you there. Your presence, as I said, is commanding, but also very welcoming, which I find to be very, very intriguing. Lastly, and most importantly, you have a wonderful sense of humor. You seem to live, breathe, and eat your occupation, for lack of a better term. You're inspiring because of the fact that even though you don't teach, I think you have a lot that you pass along to the musicians around you and to the crowd. I find you to be just fascinating and absolutely very, very nice gentleman, for lack of a better term. I hope that at some point in time when you have your CD to promote, you'll come back, or if you just want to come back and shoot the shit, you can come back, but you're more than welcome anytime, because to me, you are aces in my book. That's it.
Awesome, Cindy.
Are you dead?
I gotta say,
oh my God, you scared me.
Oh my God.
I'm like, did I just kill you? Is he dead?
No, man.
Right, I don't even
know what to say. That's
Why does everybody keep doing that? I'm like, I'm keeping it real.
Just because you're awesome.
Just
because you're awesome, you.
Oh my God!
You got it going on.
Don't
you're awesome.
Don't go there.
Really?
Don't go there. Really, don't go there.
Okay.
You know what you need to do?
Okay, I won't.
Okay.
Can
you record
I won't
this
say you're hot. I won't say that. I won't say it.
You could have said that, but no, you could tell the guy I like. That would really help. No, I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, I think one of the biggest things that people tend to forget is, you are local, just like everybody else out there, and obviously, if somebody doesn't put you on the show and remind you of how wonderful you are, and most people have never heard of you, you need a platform for something like this. And I do think that you are a little more modest than you give yourself credit for. I think that you're a little too humble. You're just remarkable. You just need to own that a little bit more. And the next time I see you in person, the only thing I want to hear is I'm a 10 from top to bottom. That'd make me much happier. How's that?
Perfect. I will make that happen for you.
Yay! Wonderful,
and
wonderful.
not only,
so once again, go ahead.
You're awesome as well. You're awesome because you have this outlet for people, not only musicians, but for people that whatever they do, you have an outlet for them as well, and you create that, and you're making that connection. So that's awesome, and you're making that happen. So this means you're awesome.
Thank you. My God, we're both awesome today. That's absolutely awesome. That's great. And just to let everybody know.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, not a problem at all. I want to remind you of this before you go, too, and before I go, that this episode will probably be archived sometime later today. So if you want to tell your friends, fans, etc., it automatically gets archived all year round. If by some chance next year I do another book about my radio show guests, you'll be asked to be in that book, so then you'll actually be published as far as that sort of stuff goes. And it'll be accessible for people to listen to. I'll add the CD portion or the music portion on at some given point in time in the near future, so that's done. And, of course, they just follow the link, which is, of course, in the chat corner. Now get the hell off my show because I got to go get my kids. Just kidding. I mean that in a very loving way.
I know. Well, thanks for having me, Cindy. I really appreciate it. Thank you for making me feel so comfortable at home.
Oh, all right. Talk to you soon. You have a good day. All right, dear. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, kids. Amidst the actual accidental hang-up there, that was absolutely wonderful time with Marcell. I want to say once again, thank you so very much for him being such a good sport, coming on, being so professional. God, you can't not love that guy. Want to remind everybody before I forget real quickly, he does have a personal Facebook page. Obviously, Marcell is the name of the actual promotional page. And, of course, his music can be found on CD Baby and also on YouTube. And, of course, the Twitter and the website are a work in progress. As I said, look forward to my next show, which will be tomorrow, I believe, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is, of course, my interview with Canadian actress Jill Maria Robinson. Once again, thanks so much to everybody who always supports the show. In case you didn't see on Facebook, we have a total of 57,000-plus views and listens, I should say, in the last 2 years. And that's all because of fine people like you that take your time and trouble to listen. So once again, much, much appreciated. You all have yourself a nice afternoon. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
What you doing?
Ran out of space on my phone, so I'm deleting some stuff. By singing dog. By goal.
I pronounce you.
By wedding ceremony.
Stop. At Metro PCS, you get 2 free phones with twice as much memory.
Really?
Don't say bye to your memories. Switch to Metro PCS and get 2 free LG K20 Plus phones with 32 gigs when you switch 2 lines. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.